Hey guys, welcome back to Clownfish TV. This is Kneon. I am here with Geeky Sparkles.
Hello.
And we're going to talk about Demon Slayer a little more in depth in regards to the numbers, because I don't think a lot of people who watch the channel, or at least pay attention to comic books, understand just how big Demon Slayer is. That there is nothing in the US that even compares to Demon Slayer.
And the comic industry should be shitting their pants.
They should be.
They probably already are.
They've been for years. They shit the bed years ago.
Yeah, yeah.
So we're going to talk about Demon Slayer, how popular and how crazy the sales are. We're going to talk about the movie, and we're going to talk about the fact that Tanjiro means more to kids than their own parents.
Well, they consider him more of a role model, or, you know, which is kind of creepy when you think about it. But anyway.
That is, so you want to keep your sister in a box?
They admire him. No, don't say that.
Put a gag in her mouth and put her in a box on your back? Oh my God, that's going to be next thing. Japanese kids that stuff their toddler-sized sisters into little boxes and backpacks.
I hope not.
I hope not. It'll be like the Pikachu thing all over again. You know, backpacks will be banned in Japan because you'd be putting little kids in the backpacks.
Wait, they put kids in Pikachu backpacks?
No, Pikachu caused seizures, and they banned the episode, and it was all over.
I get that, but the way you described it, I knew about that.
You can put Pikachu in the backpack.
But the way you described that was, there's going to be like that all over again with Pikachu in backpacks. And I'm like, wait, they're putting their little sisters in the backpacks of a Pikachu? I was very confused because you weren't very clear.
Well, now I'm confused because I know in my head what I was talking about. I guess it just didn't come out the way
that happens to you a lot.
It sounded in my head. Anyway.
Yeah.
Anyway, before we get into it, please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, guys. And also check out our merch store that you only have 8 days to pre-order these Kneon and Geeky pins. And when they're gone, they're gone. We have no guarantee that there will be any left over. We did have a handful of Bubbly Steve pins. I think they're almost gone though.
Yeah, they ordered extra just in case there was any, errors or anything like that. So they had extra ones, that were good. So they're selling those.
So check the description below. Check in the comments. I'll pin a comment with a link to the shop, shopclownfish.com. Let's talk about Demon Slayer.
Yes.
So I put this tweet out yesterday because I did a video following up on the DC Comics initiative.
It literally changed in like a day?
A couple days.
Oh my goodness.
So, yeah, we were talking about graphic novels here in the US and talking about DC Comics with I Am Not Starfire and how they're attempting to go kind of head-to-head with manga.
That's like saying I'm going to go head-to-head with a dump truck. I wonder who's going to win.
Yeah, it's just like that. So Demon Slayer, last time I checked, just like a couple of days ago, it had sold over 82 million copies. Now, we're talking, 18 volumes. I think it's 18 volumes. 82 million copies just in 2020. Just in Japan.
Right. Japan compared to the United States. And then the books here are celebrating, if they say sell how many copies?
Oh, 100,000 copies is a success.
Oh my God, let's break out the champagne.
And I showed the graphic novel charts, the book scan charts, and Dogman was number one of the Dogman books. It had barely over 1 million copies. And then you go down the list, and most of them were like, 150, 200,000
So let me get
copies.
this straight. A kid's hybrid book is kicking the ass of all the other graphic novels that they're putting out for Marvel and DC.
Yeah.
And then beyond that, manga like Demon Slayer is kicking the ass of those things.
Yeah, there's a lot of ass kicking going on.
Right.
But the number 2 manga was a distant second at 8 million.
Oh my goodness.
So we go from 82 million to 8 million to 7 million.
But still, look
millions,
at the
millions.
the ones that are not doing as well are still kicking your ass, Marvel and DC. Scholastic, and should we continue?
Yeah.
You see, in a country that's way smaller than ours, do you see something wrong here?
Yeah, I see something wrong.
Maybe if you had stories people actually wanted to read, they'd buy your stuff, but everybody's going and buying. And I mean, that's just Japan. That's like how people does that count people here buying the books.
I do not believe that.
Okay, but we'll for argument's sake, it does. Well, it does include us. That's people, everybody else around the world buying those books because they don't want to read your shit. What's that tell you?
We're not going to know how Demon Slayer did over here until like probably spring of next year, because the numbers come in for BookScan. Now, last year, Demon Slayer was just kind of warming up, and it did break the top. I think it broke the top 20, the first volume of it. but barely. Now that the anime is out, it's probably going to skyrocket now that it's out over here. So it gets better. A couple of days ago, it was 82 million copies, and now Demon Slayer is at 100 million copies just in 2020.
Well, that's December 10th.
Yeah.
So
the other article was from, I think, the 4th.
Okay, so in like less than a week, it went up another 18 million copies.
Yeah.
18 million. And you guys are happy if you get 100,000.
Yeah. I think you're aiming low here. And it shows, I mean, look, Japan is smaller than the US population-wise. I mean, it's still a populous country, but it is smaller than the US, and it just shows that, yeah, comics can sell.
But beyond that, then you had that Crunchyroll chick going on telling the Asian market how they should change their stuff to appeal to our markets. Short answer, don't listen to her.
Yeah, let's fail like the US is failing.
Yeah. Of course they want them to fail because they can push their U.S. stuff to the forefront. Don't listen to them.
X-Arm, High Guardian Spice. No.
Keep kicking ass and taking names and just giving us good stuff because people want good stuff. And they're going to go to you to get it because they sure as hell are not getting it over here.
No, they're not. You got to go where the action is. And the action right now is in manga and not a Mera manga. Just putting big eyes and blue hair on something doesn't.
Let's make it. Put big eyes on that stuff. Slap some manga on it.
Yeah, right. So anyway, I got to give a hat tip to Megan Peters, who writes for comicbook.com. And I will go on record saying she is one of the best anime journalists out there. She's very unbiased. She's very factual. I think she does a good job, and a lot of these are from her, so I want to give her credit. Go out and actually read her stuff on comicbook.com. Thankfully, she's writing for comicbook.com and not Comic Book Resources, or we'd be talking a totally different thing. But yeah, 100 million copies. 102 million copies.
Damn, so like 20 million.
This is only the second series to ever reach such a number at Oricon since the chart debuted. I think One Piece was the other one, because One Piece is still like I think it's the top selling manga of all time. I think Demon Slayer could potentially beat it, but Demon Slayer's ended. Now that's the difference. Demon Slayer is over, and eventually those sales are gonna kind of drop off. Right. One Piece is still going, but the movie, we've been talking about this. The movie is released or was released only in Japan and was making $200 million US.
Just Japan.
For a 2D animated movie.
Or a couple markets around. Was it right? Only Japan, or was it a couple markets around it?
It has been released in other countries, but originally it hit 200 million, I think, just in Japan.
Jeez.
And now it's at 289 million US. It's less than $1 billion yen from toppling the record set by Spirited Away. It's a huge milestone. This is going to become Japan's top grossing film.
I'm very excited to see it. I can't wait. This is one of the things I'm looking forward to seeing. I'm actually looking more forward to seeing this than a bunch of other blockbuster, quote unquote, films that are supposed to be coming out from the U.S. studios next year.
Yeah, I mean, I did not see this coming. I knew Demon Slayer was popular. I knew the manga was selling well. I knew the anime was popular. I could not have predicted it doing this well at the box office because usually the anime movies, if they're not Ghibli, they do okay. But this was a continuation of the series. So this would be like watching Transformers the movie, where you basically have to have watched the series first to understand what's going on, compared to a lot of the Dragon Ball movies and even the My Hero Academia movies, which are kind of self-contained things. This is a continuation of the show, but the show was incredibly popular. So yeah, people are going to go watch it. It is on track to become the highest grossing movie of all time in Japan.
Dang. But do go on about how you need to change what you're doing in Japan to be better for the audiences over here.
I just don't think Americans can wrap their head around how big this franchise is. Like, it's huge. It's so huge that kids admire Tanjiro more than they admire their parents.
Some kids admire a lot of people more than their parents. Depends.
Yeah.
Of course, not my children. No, I'm kidding.
Can't get Pinky Boo to watch Demon Slayer.
No,
I don't understand, because she loves manga. She's at
that age where she's just being.
It's got to be one she picked out.
Right. She's at that age where she's starting to be a lot of fun, if you know what I mean. Anyway.
Anyway.
I still love her dearly, though.
You sent this over to me this morning that more kids admire Demon Slayer Tanjiro than their parents.
It was a poll in Japan.
Yeah, so this is interesting. A survey was done in Japan by Benassi, an education and publishing company. It was there more than 7,600 students from 3rd to 6th grade were asked what they liked best this year. Kids were even polled on their most admired people, and more students say they admired Tanjiro above their mom or dad because he keeps his little sister in a box.
Now, see, with my kids, I mean, this is a cultural difference as well. My kids, when they were in 3rd to 6th grade, I wouldn't have let them watch that show.
The show's pretty, I mean, that's the thing. This is definitely PG-13. You know, there's a lot of violence in the show. So I'm surprised at 3rd to 6th graders. But you don't pull those numbers if everybody's not watching it.
But good news, moms came in at number 2.
Okay.
Dads were 5th.
Oh,
and teachers were 4th. Man, dads, you need to step it up.
Well, the Japanese dads, they're gone all the time, right?
I mean, moms too, though, probably.
Yeah, so the poll says 30% kids say Demon Slayer was the best part of 2020. That's a third.
It's really good. If you haven't seen Demon Slayer, you need to watch it. It's good.
That means a good chunk of them admitted they admire Tanjiro. In fact, the top 10 list is completely dominated by characters from Demon Slayer. The only exceptions came courtesy of the students' mothers, fathers, and teachers.
Oh my gosh. So, I mean, we're trying to get it across to people who aren't following anime, how absolutely huge this stuff is, and manga. And then you have the American studios doing these things that they're doing and making choices they're making, and then they're trying to push so hard for, check boxes and, agendas and things like that. And then over there, they're not. They don't give a shit. And they're kicking your asses. Because they're just interested in having characters that are naturally diverse a lot of time. Well, sometimes. And they are in this one. And they're just kicking your ass because they tell good stories. And good stories and good characters are first and forefront. Not, I got to make sure this one's this color, but not too dark or not too light. Or I got to make sure this one has these, following characteristics and adjectives. Or people on Twitter are going to lose their shit. And they're never going to buy the book anyway.
What's really interesting about you look at the most popular manga and anime series in Japan, and this is a cultural difference. These characters, and we did a video talking about this before, they have to work their asses off.
Yes.
Demon Slayer, the first couple episodes of Demon Slayer, it's basically just Tanjiro learning to kick ass, and he spends years training. And it's all for his sister, but he spends years training. He doesn't get handed a magic sword or any of that bullshit.
Don't go in the woods and, Adora, here's a magic sword. You actually have to do something. I was just thinking, you know what wouldn't fly in Japan? Snowflake and Safe Space.
Oh my God.
They would kick their asses.
So this is what, Marvel and DC are missing. Like, they don't get it. They don't get it. And, these archetype characters over there, the shonen manga, they're just, they are beloved universally. Like even Americans love these characters, even though they come from a very Japanese place because they're very human. You can relate to them.
Yes, they're very relatable.
But you don't have to be like, well, did you know that Tanjiro's got a scar, so he's, got to speak out representation for people with scars.
Right, and his sister has to speak. Oh, wait, she can't.
I am waiting for that. I still haven't seen a lot of backlash, but I'm waiting for the fact that the female co-lead has a gag in her mouth and she's stuffed in a box most of the time. And she's also hypnotized. So she's got to do...
There's nothing sexual about it.
There's nothing sexual.
But they'll find a way to make it that way. It just blows my mind. And it's like, imagine what you could do if you just focused on good characters and good storytelling. And you just, and making them relatable to a lot of people. You can do so much. And they're not like, bending the knee for the Western audiences like the Western studios are doing. And the Western studios are getting their asses kicked. Disney just announced, Lucasfilm just announced they're doing Visions for Star Wars, where they're going out to anime studios to do different anime studios to do an episode. They're flipping so desperate to make that people want Star Wars. They're out there like, what's popular? Anime. Let's go get anime studios to do it.
They did this before at The Matrix. Back in the day, they had the Animatrix. Which
did it work? No, not
was
really.
It was okay, but nobody talks about it now.
No, it didn't work.
Yeah, I mean, it was a one-off, and I think it's because that one guy did I think it was like one person did an anime-style episode of Star Wars on YouTube, a fan episode, and they're probably looking at that like, well, it should be official. Let's do it ourselves.
Slap some big eyes on it. It'll sell.
Blue hair, big eyes.
That's all it takes.
That's all it takes. No, there's so much more to it. It's a cultural thing. It's about finding and creating characters that resonate with a lot of people. Giving them a purpose that resonates with a lot of people. I mean, Tanjiro's popular because his family's spoiler happens in the first episode. So what the hell? Family gets killed. All he's got left is his sister. So he's going to do what he can do to protect his sister, and that's his motivation. And most people can relate to that. Whereas with a lot of Western comics now, it's like, let's just preach a social message.
Right. Social justice. Woo! You know, and then, make them all anything but white and anything but straight, and then it's all good. And even though it doesn't matter numerically that the representation's, balanced, it doesn't matter. We're going to take all the straight characters now. They are all now LGBTQ except for like a couple, because that's the agenda we're trying to push.
And anime and manga has been doing it for years.
Right. They do it in a way that it's organic and it's completely like, it's a good story that the characters happen to be that way. It's not that the story is secondary to how the characters identify. And if they did good shows and good stories with good characters that were, happen to be different genders, races, sexuality, whatever, they would probably do well. But they don't want to do that. That requires putting story and characterization first, but and not leading with, did I mention you have to like the show because they're X, Y, and Z?
Yeah. Yeah. And look, a good series, people will like it just because it's good.
It's good. And then you didn't even notice with Avatar. You didn't even notice all the characters, none of the characters were white. You never even think about it. Someone points it out and they're like, oh my gosh, yes, because it didn't matter.
No, it didn't matter. And technically, there are no white people in Demon Slayer. They're all Asian.
And it's still effing awesome.
It's awesome. It's a great show. I haven't read much of the manga yet. I do like the art style. It's very different too. I think it helps it stand out a little bit. But look, there's a reason it's popular, guys. It taps into something. It wasn't accidental. I mean, you don't have this much success with a half-assed, a project and product. And Demon Slayer was kind of a slow burn because it really didn't start taking off in popularity until the anime aired. And then people went back and read the manga, and that's sort of that symbiotic relationship. But the thing is you get what's advertised in Japan. It's usually the anime as a direct adaptation or mostly direct adaptation of the manga. So, people go buy the manga and that's where most of the authors make their money. In America, they're like, let's take the comics and just throw it all out and just reboot it and then reboot it and reboot it again.
Then lie and say the characters are super popular with everyone. Yeah,
and then we're going to make the movies and the TV shows completely different from the source material. Mm-hmm. Even though the source material was popular.
And then when the audience likes the movies and the characters that have been established for years, we're going to take them out and just make them all with women now for no reason whatsoever. Iron Man's now Ironheart, and Captain America's America Chavez for no damn reason. Then you wonder why people get mad. And then the takeaway is they hate women, and that's not what the problem was. The problem was you changed everything that they knew and they cared about. Again,
just if you're going to make stories with new characters, I hate the mantle thing. That's bullshit. No. You're doing it because you want to bank on that IP, the existing audience. Make a new story with new characters that are the kinds of characters you'd like to see. And earn it.
Don't reboot everything, every IP you have, and just say you're supposed to, and then change everything about it and tell everybody who doesn't like it there is some phobes. Do something new and earn it.
So I'm going to say that Demon Slayer is earning it. And, this just makes American comics look so sad.
I know, they already look sad, but when you put it in perspective here, it's even sadder.
I mean, Demon Slayer is making other manga look sad. I mean, this is just like...
But even the ones that are beneath it were beneath it by a little bit, but they're still kicking up.
Millions.
Even the low ones on the manga list are beating the American comics. And there's a much bigger audience here.
Yeah. Yeah. So, there you go, guys.
Do better. Stop sucking.
Do better. You're doing it wrong. You're doing it wrong, America. Gonna wrap it up.
Yep.
Please subscribe for more pop culture news, views, and rants, and we'll talk later.
Bye.